Shah Rukh Khan's son will spend at least 5 more days at Mumbai's Arthur Road jail as a Sessions Court reserved its order on Aryan's bail plea. The NCB alleges that Aryan Khan is linked to an international drug trafficking racket and that there are WhatsApp chats of the star kid with foreign peddlers about getting hard drugs in bulk. Aryan, in his defense, has maintained he's done nothing illegal. The big question is, will Shah Rukh Khan's son get bail on Wednesday?
No bail for Aryan Khan yet. He will stay in jail till the 20th of October at least. A Mumbai Sessions Court reserved order on Aryan Khan's bail plea. The court is shut Friday onwards for Dussehra break and on Tuesday because of Eid. And there is still no clarity on whether Shah Rukh Khan's son will walk out of jail on Wednesday. Aryan Khan's bail hearing went on for almost 3 hours. The Narcotics Control Bureau that has been opposing Aryan Khan's bail plea alleged that while nothing was found on the star kid, the drugs found on his friend Arbaz Merchant were meant to be consumed by both. The NCB also claimed Aryan Khan is not a first-time consumer of drugs, but that he has been a regular consumer of drugs for a few years. The agency has also hurled the charge of illicit drug trafficking on Aryan Khan, saying that WhatsApp chats with an alleged peddler show that Shah Rukh Khan's son talking about bulk quantity of drugs that could not have been just for personal consumption. The Narcotics Control Bureau has argued that under the NDPS Act, an accused is held guilty unless proven innocent.
फिलहाल तो आर्ग्यूमेंट्स अक्यूज नंबर 1, 2 और 3 का हो गया है, इसलिए होपफुली ऑर्डर्स 28 को उन सबके आएंगे. जो बाकी के बेल और एप्लीकेशंस है वो अभी तक सुने गए नहीं है, जिसके कारण इट इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू से वेदर द ऑर्डर विल कम.
In his defense, Aryan Khan has maintained that he has not bought, sold or consumed any drugs. In court on Thursday, Aryan Khan's legal team, led by lawyer Amit Desai, argued that Aryan Khan's personal liberty was at stake and that celebrities and role models do not deserve extra harshness. Aryan Khan's lawyers also say that the case against him is based on conspiracy and speculation and that claim about connections to drug peddlers are too far-fetched. Aryan Khan's defense insists that his WhatsApp chats have nothing to do with illicit drug trafficking or illicit behavior.
The NCB has alleged that Aryan Khan could be part of illicit drug trafficking. But the question is, what is the proof that the agency has against SRK's son? Aryan's legal team has said that since 3rd October, the agency has not produced any evidence of Aryan's involvement in the cruise drug bust case. NCB maintains that the probe is at an initial stage and Aryan's custody is absolutely vital. With camera person Swaraj, this is Divyesh Singh in Mumbai for India Today.
In court today, the Narcotics Control Bureau drew a parallel between the Aryan Khan case and that of the Sushant Singh Rajput drug case. The agency argued that Rhea Chakravarti's brother wasn't given bail even when no drugs were recovered from him, and therefore in Aryan's case too, custody is required because he's allegedly linked to other accused and supposed drug dealers. The NCB has been citing Aryan's WhatsApp chats as proof of his involvement. But are WhatsApp chats even admissible as evidence?
As the Aryan Khan arrest case continues to draw eyeballs, parallels are being drawn to last year's Rhea Chakravarti drug case. The NCB cited the case while presenting its argument against the bail plea of Aryan Khan to negate his claim that no substance was found on him. Opposing the Star Kids bail, Additional Solicitor General Anil Singh said even though nothing was recovered from Ria's brother Shoubik Chakrabarti, the High Court had said that he was an important link in the investigation. The court had also observed that all sections of the NDPS Act are non-bailable. Like in the Ria case, the NCB is again banking on WhatsApp chats as evidence to pin Shah Rukh Khan's son. The NCB had alleged that Aryan had chats with foreign nationals on drugs. The agency also alleges the chats recovered from Aryan's phone talks about commercial quantities of drugs. Aryan's case has put the spotlight on the use of WhatsApp chats as evidence in court. The use of WhatsApp chats as proof remains a legal grey area. There is no law on the use of WhatsApp chats and is up to the courts to interpret. The Supreme Court, however, had observed in a WhatsApp privacy earlier this year, the chats cannot be used as evidence. The bench headed by CJI N.V. Ramana said that these days anything can be created and deleted on social media.
Additional Solicitor General Anil Singh showed certain WhatsApp chats between Aryan Khan and certain drug peddlers to indicate that Aryan Khan was involved in international drug racketing. He also added that there was a similarity between Aryan Khan's case and that of Shoubik Chakrabarti, brother of Ria Chakrabarti. He said that Shoubik too was found without any possession of drugs, and there were only WhatsApp chats that were there between Shoubik and certain drug peddlers and monetary exchange as well, to indicate that the Bombay High Court had refused to grant bail to Shoubik. In a similar case, the Sessions Court too should reject the bail of Aryan Khan.
How does Shah Rukh Khan's celebrity status affect the case? In the Ria Chakrabarti drug case, the Bombay High Court, while granting her bail, had observed that everyone, including a celebrity, are equal before the law. The court added that being a public figure does not incur special liability when he or she faces the law. Among all factors, the Mumbai Sessions Court verdict on Aryan's bail plea will depend on how it views the WhatsApp chats presented by the NCB to allege an international nexus. With Vidya in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
So can WhatsApp chats be used as evidence against Aryan Khan? Remember, the WhatsApp chats aren't currently in the public domain. What we have is the NCB saying that Aryan Khan is part of a illegal international drugs syndicate because they supposedly have some WhatsApp chats. We haven't seen those chats, but the Supreme Court hasn't said that they can be used as evidence. So is Shah Rukh's son Aryan then being treated unfairly because of his status as a star son, with the NCB trying to make an effort to make him out to be an example? Or is there adequate evidence to back the NCB's line of investigation? Joining us on this broadcast, former head of the Narcotics Control Bureau of India, B.V. Kumar. For a legal perspective on this matter, I'm joined by Karuna Nandi. We have Shaina NC from the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have Clyde Crasto from the NCP. And Aman Sinha joins us for a legal perspective as well. I want to go across to Karuna Nandi first to lay out why you're troubled by the Narcotics Control Bureau's current line of investigation. They seem to believe that even though he wasn't found with drugs, even though there were no drugs in his blood, there are apparently WhatsApp chats in which it seems that he's ordering bulk drugs, and that is being used by the NCB to claim he's part of an international drug cartel. Why do you find this troublesome, Karuna Nandi?
I find this troublesome because one of the first things that you have to demonstrate when you are looking to restrict somebody's personal liberty and to put them in police custody or jail is there has to be some evidence against them, right? Something, anything. Now, let us forget the fact that this young man is Shah Rukh Khan's son, right? Let us forget he is young. Let us forget he is Muslim. Let us forget all of this and take a step back. What was found on this young man? Nothing. Nothing. Not even 6 grams of charas or hashish, which is a distinction is made under the law of the two. Nothing. Was there anything found in his blood? No, because they would have placed this in the bail matters. Was he even there during the time of the raid? No. What is there to link him with? Now, let us see what the state is alleging. They are saying that he was part of a WhatsApp group and they've leaked everything else, right? But they haven't made explicit submissions about what was in those WhatsApp chats, right? Even before the court. So, what was the basis of those WhatsApp chats? Are they in fact Aryan Khan's WhatsApp chats? Was he actually involved? The standard, very standard procedure that any lawyer of 1 year will tell you is that you have to have an affidavit under Section 65B of the Evidence Act, right? It's a simple thing. It's an affidavit saying that, look, here is the chain of custody. This is how we have received the WhatsApp chats, and we are placing it on record before this court. And I, as an individual, police officer, IO, whatever, am saying that this is why this is connected to Aryan Khan. That was not there. After 11 days of custody, this is what there is. So frankly, there seems to be a bit of a playbook here. That first, that we see this in a number of cases. We see this in, in very serious cases, UAPA cases, sedition cases, and now in this NDPS case, where there is somebody that for other reasons, and I think there's a big public perception here that is the state is going to have to deal with, that if for other reasons, either you fail to please the BJP and the RSS, or if you have said things about them, even in the most peaceful way, that if you're Harsh Mandar, there'll be raids on you. There will be, you might get some kind of UAPA charge. Even you talk about love and peace and all of that.
Okay, so let Aman Sinha respond to the case that you're making.
I want to be very concrete, but I want to come back to the concrete nature of this case. You have someone who has been detained for this time, and we must compare him to Riya Chakravarti, not to Shovik Chakravarti. Because the point is that he's not even in police custody anymore, he's in judicial custody. So what kind of interrogation, what kind of future evidence that is being extracted from him are we even speaking of?
So let Aman Sinha respond to this. The charge against the NCB is that they're out to make Aryan Khan into some kind of an example because they have a vendetta against Bollywood. That no drugs recovered in his person, nothing recovered in his blood. You're alleging that he's part of an international drug syndicate without at this moment having an iota of evidence against Aryan Khan. Aman Sinha, opening comments.
Rahul, the evidence placed on clearly shows that the accused is a regular consumer of contraband since past few years, and this has in fact not been denied as yet by his peers or by the accused himself. Now, that apart, we have to consider the scheme of the NDPS Act, Rahul, and the objectives of the NDPS Act. The scheme of the Act, the provisions are so stringent, and they are there for a certain objective, and therefore it has to be seen in that light. That apart, according to NCB, he was in conscious possession of contraband. He is in direct touch with Arbaz and one Ajit, who were in the possession of charas and ganja. And Rahul, therefore, in several cases, in fact, Bombay High Court in the Katana of judgments in case of Shovik Chakravarti has also held that these cannot be a ground for granting bail, that drug was not directly recovered on somebody's person or body. And in fact, bail has been denied in case of Shovik Chakravarti and another case.
I want to quote to you, Aman Sinha, on the 20th of July 2021, the Supreme Court, and this is in the bench of Chief Justice N.V. Ramanna, Justices A.S. Bopanna, Rishikesh Roy, this is about WhatsApp, because all you have right now are some WhatsApp messages. Justice Ramanna says, what is the evidentiary value of WhatsApp messages these days? Anything can be created and deleted on social media. We don't attach any value to WhatsApp messages. as Karuna was saying, no concrete evidence has been found, no substantial evidence has been found against him, no drugs, no recovery, nothing in his blood. Now, he's part of this WhatsApp group, and by the way, most people who are watching would say if the NCB actually had some chats where Aryan Khan was saying something amiss, by now they would have found a way of leaking them out.
Well, Rahul, first of all, let me say that Aryan Khan himself had recorded his statement, and he withstood by the veracity of these chats. Later on, he tried to retract it. Now, all that, Rahul, is subject matter of trial, and everything will come out in during the course of proceedings in trial, and therefore. To attribute this and say that
no, by all means there must be a Mr. Sinha, by all means there must be a trial. As of now, he is in judicial custody, he is not in the police's custody. If he is under the police's custody, he can be questioned, interrogated, investigation is on. He is Kaidi number 956 at Arthur Road Jail. He is in judicial custody. That's a violation of his personal liberty. By all means, try him. By all means, prosecute him. By all means, convict him if you have the evidence to do so. Right now, the point that Karuna is making, it's this whole process. That process is the punishment.
No, that's not correct at all. And therefore, I alluded to the scheme of the NDPS Act, Rahul. You cannot equate it with any other statute. The onus is on the accused to prove that he was not in possession of the drugs or he was not connected, and that will all be subject matter of trial. But as far as law is concerned, I am sorry to say that court goes by legal arguments. They do not go by such summarizes and conjectures and some arguments which are made here and there that this happened in case of Harsh Mandar and all those things. We all know what that discourse is about. Court goes by legal arguments and on legal principles. And let me say,
that's an important point. Let's leave other cases on the side, Karuna, for the moment. Focus on the evidence that we have at hand in this particular case and respond to the points made by Aman Sinha. Karuna.
Let us go strictly on the points that Mr. Sinha raised to illuminate the conversation rather than indulge in mudslinging. The NDPS, as Amit Desai quite correctly argued in court, underwent a transformation. The scheme where underwent, Mr. Sinha, let me just finish. Underwent a transformation.
Let us speak. Go on, Karuna.
2001. Okay. The thing to remember is that there was a much more of a reformative approach with regard to, in particular, consumption versus trafficking. Okay, so let's take the allegations one by one. Now, with regard to consumption, 27 section 27, right, B, as perhaps you're aware, otherwise you could pull up the act, speaks of when the narcotic drug or psychotropic substance consumed is other than those specified as under Clause A. Clause A speaks of cocaine, morphine, etc., and doesn't speak of cannabis. So there's a distinction made under the law for these two things. And it says that you can be sentenced to 6 months or with fine, right? Also, let me take you, I don't know if you've managed to pull up the act since, your plea was to speak on law. I'll give you a little bit of time for that. Section 35 speaks of presumption of a culpable mental state, right? But that's only during trial. Now, I think just to put your apprehensions at rest, the discussion here is not about a trial, Mr. Sinha. The discussion here is about liberty during trial. I don't know if you're aware. Please, you will have your chance. I don't know if you're aware that over 60% of our people in jail are under trials, are people who are not convicted of any crime.
You seem to be the only authority on the NDPS Act. Can you even expand the abbreviation of NDPS Act? You are citing all the provisions which are completely irrelevant.
Mr. Sinha, I could ask you to start.
All the provisions which are being cited here are completely irrelevant for the purposes of bail. Completely irrelevant.
The fact that they have been cited in the FIR.
Please see
No,
section
but I
37.
have over here some Aman Sinha. No, one second. First, we need to speak one at a time. I have here the arguments made by ASG Anil Singh, where he says that even if his friends, now because now he's figured that Aryan didn't have any drugs with him, he says even if his friend Barbaz merchant was in possession of drugs, it's as good as him having possessed them himself. I don't understand this. I don't know Arbaz, and maybe he did have drugs with him, maybe he didn't. But let's assume somebody did. How is that the same thing as, now Sambit Patra does something, but Sambit did it. Aman Sinha is as good because he was with Sambit at that time. We don't know that. Does that even make sense? Aman, you're a proper serious lawyer.
Rahul, there is a charge of conspiracy, and that is what I was saying when my learned friend was referring to certain sections which were absolutely irrelevant, at least for the purposes of bail. Section 37 was the relevant section, since the accused was in direct touch with those people who have, with whom this charas and ganja has been recovered. And therefore, under section 37, he was in conscious possession of that. And therefore, this is a ground for denial of bail. It has not been held once, but in several cases, whether it was case of Nawaz Khan by the Bombay High Court or another case of Shobit. And all these cases, my learned friend is saying that they do not know any iota of law. The Bombay High Court does not know how to interpret section 37. And all those cases which have been interpreted, they have been done in
Let me go across to Shaina NC because she's got many.
No, please, Rahul, no, this kind of grandstanding. I mean, she's trying to show as if she's the only one who knows NDPS Act. Perhaps she doesn't even know how the Act is expanded. But I'm sorry to say, she's citing all the irrelevant provisions. And not only are you citing all the irrelevant provisions, you are basing your case on something which doesn't even exist. There is no correlation. There is a charge of conspiracy for good reasons, because there is evidence on record to suggest that he is a regular consumer of contraband. This has not even been denied. This hasn't even been denied that he's a regular consumer of contraband. And you are coming here and arguing something which was never argued by any of the parties.
Mr. Sinha, the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, 1985, you might realize
if you have a legal point to make, you
allegations.
I do not need to be told.
It does not go on allegations. Please, why don't we look at the evidence on record and the arguments that have been made? Everything has been placed.
You have no argument.
No, you can't. Aman Sinha, you can't speak over her. This is not right. Aman Sinha, this is not right. She's made a point. You must listen to her.
Not focus on me so much.
No, I'm listening. If she has a point, she must say.
Well, one second. Let me decide that, because we heard you out in patience. No, one second. Both faders down. Aman Sinha, you've spoken at length. We've heard you. Now let the opposing counsel make her argument before you come in. I'm quoting what Amit Desai says in court, and this is an important argument, that the whole idea of the 2001 amendment is that the act needs to be reformative, that you need to help young people, old people, whoever may be in the habit of consuming drugs, reform themselves, especially at their first offense. It's not murder, it's not rape, it's not culpable homicide where you lock somebody up. The whole approach is a reformative approach. We're not a kangaroo court. We're not out ki Shah Rukh ka bachcha jail mein dalo, jail mein dalo, jail mein dalo. That's not the way the law is supposed to operate.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, this has never been argued by NCB or ASG. Anil Singh was appearing there, and this will all be considered. The judgment has been reserved as far as bail applications are concerned. Let us not,
So what's happened in the Riya Chakravarti case? What's happened in the Riya Chakravarti case or in the Shobik case? How energized is the NCB in pursuing that case? After the bail order came out, and I have several provisions of the bail order in that case before me, they've taken the NCB apart. But yet you put her through the coals, hauled her up, locked her up, because the process was the punishment, and the same seems to be happening in this case as well. 10 days, 15 days later, when the young man comes out, the camera gaze would have moved away and you would have scarred him for life.
That's not correct, Rahul. And as I was mentioning to you right at the outset, that NDPS Act cannot be equated with other acts. We all know what the objectives of NDPS Act are. My learned friend also knows. And therefore, I do not need to repeat it ad nauseum. The point that I'm making here is that there are provisions under the statute which and bail order has to be passed or given in light of those provisions.
Okay.
Please look up section 37. When there is a direct connection, he has not even denied taking contraband. His lawyers have not even denied that. There is a direct connection with whom, on whose person charas and ganja has been found, and in accordance to the statute,
been found.
he has to go through the rigors of section 37.
Sir,
even
court,
as far as bail is concerned.
One second. It's not a kangaroo court. In court, they've accepted that charas and ganja wasn't found on the body of Aryan Khan. It was a small quantity, was apparently, so don't say it was found on him.
At the same time, he was in direct connection with those on whose body this charas and ganja was found. Therefore, in pursuance to section 37, he is in conscious possession. And let us see.
Now I'm very scared.
Consider all this appropriately while passing the bail order. But the point is that you cannot equate NDPS Act with other acts. There is a certain statutory scheme which has to be followed.
B.V. Shiv Kumar, as I read the Narcotics Act, it's quite clear that you should have evidence of consumption or of sale or of trafficking. In this case, there are apparently some WhatsApp chats. The status of those WhatsApp chats as evidence itself is in dispute. Do you believe the Narcotics Control Bureau, which you headed, is on a strong footing in this case, Mr. Kumar?
Yeah, I would like to mention 3 points.
Yes.
One was what was brought out in the first handout that was given by the Narcotics Control Bureau is they found 13 grams of cocaine, 5 grams of amitriptyline, 22 pills of MDMA, and 21 grams of charas, which is a very small quantity, but the others are higher than the lower quantity prescribed. The second point that is a VIP or a minister or any such person, he will not carry his own baggage. In this case, Arbaz Merchant was found to be carrying the drug. So you cannot say that simply because nothing was found on the person of Aryan Khan that he is not guilty prima facie. The third and most important point is the WhatsApp messages. The legal validity of that was decided by the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of electronic evidence. The evidence retrieved from the electronic media is in the case of Anwar PV versus PK Bashir, which was decided on 18 September 2014 by Chief Justice Kurian Joseph along with Rohinton Nairman and another judge. In this case, they very clearly said electronic evidence retrieved from any electronic media can be relied upon as evidence subject to the safeguards being fulfilled under section 65A and 65B of the Evidence Act. That's a very important provision, and the scope of this decision was approved by Justice Rohinton last year in another decision where he said he has affirmed this decision. In addition, he said if the person who is in possession of or who was maintaining the electronic media, maintaining the accounts or evidence or anything in himself, then it's not necessary even to prove the safeguards given by 65A and 65B. And so you cannot say that the evidence which has been found or said to have been found in the WhatsApp messages are not valid in evidence. They're certainly valid in evidence. And what exactly was found is for the Honorable Court, which is deciding the bail application, to evaluate and then decide
I can't
bail
possibly comment
so
on
you
the
cannot say
validity
that
of
it's not valid.
WhatsApp messages because we haven't seen them. Usually the NCB leaks them. In this case, they haven't, which is actually a good thing. But it's just that
that's a judge has to see that.
Their past record is that if they had something, they would have leaked it. Clyde Crasto wants to come in at this moment. Clyde, the essential argument made by B.V. Kumar and Aman Sinha is that the matter is before court. The judges are looking at the evidence, and if Aryan Khan has been denied bail so far, let's not get agitated. Let the judicial process do its job. Clyde Crasto.
No, Rahul, well, the judicial process has to take its course. There's no doubt about that. Nobody's above the law. The point here is, you made a very, very important point.
Yeah, Clyde.
Can I speak?
Yes.
Yeah, no, well, you made a very important point. You know, you scar somebody's life, okay? And are these WhatsApp chats admissible? Or, you know, even if you don't find somebody, you keep going on and saying that, you know, this could happen, that could happen, some international connection. I'll give you an example of the point here is when we started exposing the NCB about how the, you know, BJP functionaries were part of this whole NCB raid. They were dragging Aryan Khan inside, and later on, you know, a relative of the BJP functionary was let go in the night. We spoke about all this. Everybody said, you know, that Mr. Nawab Malik, while speaking, he has an axe to grind with the NCB because of his, son-in-law. The point here is, this is what exactly I'm trying to tell you here is, you know, his son-in-law was asked to come to the NCB office, and then he was detained. And then later on, they said that he had connection and he had links with, you know, a haul which they did was almost like, you know, 194 kgs of ganja. Now, let me tell you one thing. When they went to his house and searched, they found nothing. There's a panchnama there. And in his bail order, they connected Samir Khan to something. And then later on, Section 37, Section 29, Section 27A, they said they applied these sections on him and they've all failed. They did not stand in court. And the court has let him go on bail right now. They will go to the higher court. But the point here is, you keep asking these questions. By the time you answer, time has gone by.
Now that's the point. Shaina NC. Yes, Shaina, you must. Because this is what happened in the case of Riya Chakravarti as well. She was locked up for a long period of time. The court, when it gave its order, tore apart the NCB's case. But by then, her life had already been scarred, and the same seems to be happening in this case as well with Aryan Khan.
Rahul, I have 2-3 points to make.
Please.
First, I don't think there is any debate or doubt that the entire world is fighting the drug menace. As a mother, am I worried about my teenage kids? Absolutely, as is anybody else. And this is not limited to a strata of society or being Shah Rukh Khan's son or somebody else. It could be somebody from the lower income groups as well. Now, if all countries are collectively taking drug abuse so seriously to get rid of the source, that is the supplier, should be the issue. I don't understand why the NCP is making this into a political issue. This is not a BJP versus NCP. If the NCP can I just finish, please?
Let us speak, please.
Let us speak. For a second.
Let us speak, yeah.
Are we worried about our future generations of this country?
Let me flip that. Let me flip that by presenting a personal question, Shaina. You just mentioned you had teenage kids. Now let's imagine that they go for an evening out and somebody at that party is found in the possession of drugs. And B.V. Kumar, in his earlier avatar as NCB chief, sends a team in and they catch everyone. And because that particular person is Shaina NC's child, therefore there is greater focus on that person than there is on somebody else. But no drugs were recovered from Shaina's child, yet Mr. Kumar's team insists that you were in this party where some drugs were found and therefore we won't let you go, and now you're in judicial custody, you're Qaidi number 956. Is that fair?
So I completely understand where you're coming from. Now, there are provisions in the NDPS Act which say that sometimes it has got nothing to do with the quantity, but if there is an argument that they need to find out who the source is, if there is an international racket or not, it's not for you and me to sit on judgment. I'm also of the opinion that if we do have this media trial, you have people, whether it's Shah Rukh Khan's son or somebody else, we cannot jeopardize the future of our youth by putting them through these media speculation as well. So since the matter is sub judice, please do not make this a political issue. What is the end result that we all want as a collective society? We want to get rid of the supply chain. We want to get rid of all those who are trying to destabilize India. And when the ASG Anil Singh spoke today, he said that the record is that we must get to the bottom of this and therefore we need certain questions answered. But at the same time, as a parent, if you ask me, I really feel bad for not just Aryan Khan, but for lots of others who are sometimes trapped in a situation and who are sometimes also privy to a media judgment which can actually scar their lives.
One second, let's not make this about the media, ma'am. One second, let's not make this about the media. You go out and arrest Shah Rukh Khan's son and then you're blaming the media for this. It's the actions of the Narcotics Control Bureau in the case of Riya Chakravarti and now in the case of Aryan Khan. And Clyde Crasto wants to come in and make a point, which is what is raising questions. So let's not, in some way, the questions have to be asked of the NCB. Don't make this about the media. Clyde Crasto.
Rahul, that's exactly the point. Don't make this about the media, but the media is being fed by the people from the NCB. We released a number today where this number belongs to an NCB personnel, and he's sending out WhatsApp message saying that this is what we've got, this is what we've got. Our question that we are asking has not been answered is, if these people were brought that night into the NCB office, first they said 8 to 10 people. Then we raised questions. The NCB officer who conducted the raid doesn't know whether it's 8 or 10. Then we said there are 11 people because we had a video where 3 people were left in the middle of the night and they were let go home. Now the point here is, if they were brought there, that means they were suspects. And if they were not suspects, then why were they brought there? And that one person is a relative of a BJP functionary. So the point here, if you're saying don't politicize this, there are 2 political links. Manish Bhanusali has a link he says I'm an informer, but the NCB says he's a witness. A witness and informer can't be the same thing. They are 2 separate things. And then if you're calling an informer or a witness, why are you exposing them? He's dragging somebody into the NCB office, which is the job of an NCB official. The second part here is that Rishabh Sachdev was brought to the NCB office, and then they said he did not have anything on him, so we let him go. Just like the others who had nothing, they should have let him go right there at the cruise. Why did they bring him there? And then the question will come up because he related to a BJP functionary. Our point here is, this sensationalism by the NCB, by drug menace has to be curtailed. There's no doubt about that. We have to go after the people who use drugs or sell drugs. We are all in support of that. But the point here is, this whole sensationalism, see, for 35 years since its inception,
so you've heard different
NCB has
points
done a
of
wonderful
view.
job.
I don't want to weigh in one way or the other. You've heard from Karuna Nandi, you've heard from Aman Sinha, you've heard from Clyde Crasto, you've heard from Shaina NC. I leave it to you, our viewers, to decide whether you think the NCB's arguments in court hold merit, or does this seem part of an elaborate witch hunt where the process by itself is the punishment? Who's talking about the drug charges against Riya Chakravarti? Even the NCB seems to have forgotten all about the case and is certainly not spending its time, energy and effort in pursuing that matter any further. That's something to think about. You're on board the news track. Trouble seems to be mounting for Bollywood actors today. Nora Fatehi was grilled by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with the 200 crore rupee money laundering case. Actor Jacqueline Fernandez has been summoned in the same case tomorrow. At the center of this is Chennai's conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who's currently in jail. This is where I wrap up the news track tonight. Here's wishing all our viewers a very happy Dussehra. I look forward to seeing you 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye, good night.